underway at Preston City Oval for the elimination final. The winner to take on North Heidelberg in next week's first semi, and the Rucks go at it. It's Wild who timed his jump better. Almost getting a hand on it too was Ferranado. And we'll have an early stoppage. Will McFawn, the deepest forward for Greensborough today by the looks of it, so he'll look to be playing a role as well as the ball gets tossed up again. Ball hobbling around. In fact, I reckon Hurstbridge are the ones that are kicking to the right of your radio dial. They must have won the toss early because it certainly looks like Greensborough did, but nonetheless, it's Hurstbridge that have the footy in their hands. De Clace, he lost it. Now picking it up is Padden. He's got numbers in the middle of the ground that he wants to use. One of those was O'Sullivan. They keep the handball chain going. There was a bump off the ball anyway. And it's going to go back to Tom O'Sullivan, who's 60 out from goal. So Greensborough kicking to the left of your radio dial against the wind to start this opening term. He's kicked straight into man of the mark, and Will Cookson, one of the smallest players on the ground. So how he's managed that is an interesting one, but Cookson comes in very quickly to lay the tackle. We'll have a ball up.
Yeah, O'Sullivan will be disappointed with that one. Didn't really take his time, could have taken a few extra steps back and got an inside forward 50 entry, but not to be.
There's O'Sullivan again. This clearance pretty high underneath that one, and almost claiming the mark is Chris McCabe, but umpire says wasn't 15, so we'll go again between wing and half forward for the Borough. No ruckman getting a tap on it. Spills out wide here for De Clace. Picks it up on the bounce. Left foot spiralling ball towards half forward. Will be cut off by the Borough. A reset now through Aiton Delaney. Call to play on. Looks to go down the line towards the outer side. And good mark taken by that man Brindley, who you'd expect him to do that quite a bit today. Brindley's on true centre wing. Outer side. His kick hangs in the air and is okay for Hurstbridge to intercept. So might take a while for these two sides to adjust to the wind. Here's Machete. Back from suspension. He's going to go laterally with the kick. It's a good one to Chris McCabe. And he's got numbers down the middle. Richards, well, on about the fifth attempt, he took that mark. Handballs it away on that occasion to Middleton of the Dane variety. And then his kick doesn't quite get to Darcy Stewart. And we'll have a boundary throw in.
I think good just lateral movement and switching the play there from Hurstbridge. Greensborough had a couple of times where they hesitated and didn't elect to switch the play and were caught up there. So good use of the ground there from Hurstbridge.
So we're just inside 50 for Hurstbridge as the Rucks go at it again. Lands for Howard, who grabs it on the full and then handballed it away again to O'Sullivan, although well, it was almost going to be intercepted, but the mark was dropped by Dane Middleton, allowed Brindley to swoop, but there is nobody inside 50 for Greensborough. Bouncing ball should allow Jack Stewart to get here first. He's got time to assess. Goes straight through the corridor, but then Ferranado got a foot into it to intercept, but that went straight to the bridges. And they'll have it again at half back, but a 50-metre penalty here for running over the man on the mark. So Hurstbridge now within range with the man on the mark taken to about 60 out from goal.
They'll have the wind advantage here. Yeah, massive kick.
Certainly would be. It's going to have the distance. Well, we can't be too surprised. But a fantastic way to start this elimination final for Hurstbridge, and they get on the board inside the opening few minutes. It was Mitch Hymas, who knows how to kick a long bomb. He's done this actually on this Preston City Oval stage 12 months ago. And they moved to 1 straight 6, the Bridges. Greensborough yet to score, 4 minutes gone. Opening turn, that looks pretty easy for Mitch Hymas.
Oh, absolutely. I think most of the spectators here would have expected a centering ball, kicking that ball on the forward flank. But Hymas, we spoke about that win advantage, and goes to show how important it is because that ball sailed over the goal umpire's head with confidence.
So straight back in the middle, O'Sullivan will win a free kick. He's already had the ball a few times. He kicks it towards half forward. He was looking on that occasion for Marty Fitzgerald, picked up by Richards instead. He goes down the line with the kick and the ball just bounces in the field of play. Yeah, elimination final last year. I think the game was in the latter stages, but Hymas just went absolutely bang for pretty much the same distance on the ground. Superb. And
not exactly a prolific goal scorer either, just kicked
the
30. That's his 31st goal from 114 senior matches.
So boundary thrown between wing and half forward. You can see those watching the wind really pushing that towards the right. Here's Richards again looking to get involved for Hurstbridge. That ball eventually spilling out through Johnston. O'Sullivan somehow got a handball away to Panham. And then his kick is very wide, too wide. Out of bounds on the full now is the call. So the Clace will take possession for Hurstbridge. He's still probably too far out from home there, you would think. Good 80 to 90 metres out. So the Clace is just going to pump it long. Inside 50. Greensborough with the numbers here, but it falls out the back. Didn't get a kind bounce to Gosta. Cookson managed to get boots of ball in the corridor. Chance here now for Stewart. Struck the tackle well. No one helping in the goal square. And Greensborough rush it through 4 behind. 1-1-7 the Bridges. The Borough yet to score.
Really good effort there from Stewart. Unfortunate not to get the goal. Actually shrugged the tackle perfectly, but was still under a bit of pressure, so rushed his kick a little bit.
Johnson, the Greensborough captain, will clear it away towards the outer side again. Hangs in the air, and Brindley, well, I think he was looking for the boundary, but Glenn was on the boundary, so he gained possession of the footy. Now the Borough duo, Sullivan again. He's had it lots in this quarter, although that handball went straight to Machete. Ball hobbling around. Eventually cleared again by O'Sullivan. Again, no one inside 50 for Greensborough, but Jamie Smith's kept his feet here as the ball trickles towards the boundary. He's able to get past Darcy Stewart. Now Greensborough win it back. Brindley, spearing ball inside McCubbin. He's going to be paid the mark. And Zach McCubbin will have a shot from 20 outs, 45-degree angle, and he can look to respond for the Borough.
I think this would be a massive goal for Zach McCubbin. Last time out against these side, against Hurstbridge, McCubbin struggled to get in the match, only kicked the one major, but for him to get on the board early here would be a really big statement for the Borough, and very important, especially against this strong wind that's already caused a bit of havoc to start this opening term.
In his second stint here at Greensborough, he's looking for his 130th goal for the club at senior level. McCubbin from 25 metres out has no problems getting that one through. And the Borough get on the board for the first time in this elimination final. They are 1 straight 6, Hurstbridge 1-1-7, 7.5 gone. Opening term, and a good confidence booster for McCubbin.
Certainly is. I think Greensborough, they were struggling a little bit with the wind, but Jamie Smith did really well just on the forward flank just to get clean possession of the ball. And it wasn't easy when you're a tall player and the ball's along the ground, but he really set up that goal. And Greensborough, it's good reward for effort because they found themselves struggling a little bit against that wind. So every goal against that wind kind of feels like double.
So we get back into the middle. It's Jake Wild that gets the tap. Trying to get onto the end of it on that occasion for Hurstbridge was Cam Wild. Spills away instead for a Bridges teammate who gets it towards half forward. Plain struggled to get that one on the bounce, but kept it forward. James McCubbin tackled immediately by Cam Wild, and we'll have a ball up 55 from the Hurstbridge goal. So Howard and Wild again to go at it. Here's Nathan Howard getting the tap. In the way was Jackson Hasler, and we'll go again. Bit of spicy by the looks of it.
Just players getting to know each other from each side, just reacquainting themselves.
A lot at stake today, as we know. So just feeling each other out early. Again, no ruck getting a tap. Richards barging in, but was tackled immediately.
Interesting. Hurstbridge just have 2 players behind the ball, so even if Greensborough get a quick kick out, it might just go straight to those Hurstbridge players.
The tap from Howard went straight past Plain, and then again to Clace, just forcing another stoppage here. Umpire quick to resume action. Jake Wild got a pretty fair tap there. Cookson tries to shrug the tackle, but he was caught high anyway. And Will Cookson, he was going to play on because he had Cooper Perrin all on his own in the middle of the forward 50, but the umpires told him he's going to have to go back on his mark here. So Will Cookson with the man on the mark about 40 out.
I think that may work in Hurstbridge's favour because Cooper Perrin, who was on the end of that ball, wasn't really in an easier spot. He was still a similar distance, just on the opposite side of the ground.
Well, we said earlier, Will Cookson certainly much more of a goal kicker this year. 11 majors. Comes in. Has he worked that one okay? It's going to go across the face. And we'll register the second behind for Hurstbridge. They're 1-2-8. Greensborough 1 straight 6. We're now 10 minutes into the second to the opening term. Johnson will look to clear things again. He's been outstanding for Greensborough. He's won their last 2 best and fairest. Wouldn't be surprised if he's up there again. That kick again hangs in the air. Almost getting that one was Brindley, but ran out of room, and we'll have a boundary throw.
Yeah, it's difficult for Greensborough, just trying to clear it out. They're probably going to have to go that long option against the wind, and they'll have to try and find answers to cut through the middle of the ground and just be really clean with their disposals when they have the ball, because they've got quite the disadvantage at the moment.
Still some blue skies above, but dark clouds are starting to get here. Here's Machete, who worked through the traffic well and got the ball inside 50, off hands. Getting this one is Campbell Walsh. His handball just got to a teammate, but they're under all sorts of pressure. Here's Perrin. Got it over to Kent, who wasn't expecting the footy to get to him. Burrow with numbers, but unable to find the room to move. And a stoppage just 30 metres out now from the Hurstbridge goal as they look to press. It's again Howard, this time up against Nick Kent in the ruck, who grabbed it out of the ruck, and Ferranado saw that coming straight away, got the handball away to Zach Hart, and they clear it, although not too efficiently. Coming in almost was Middleton, but doing well was Jackson Hasler. So Hasler takes the mark at half-back for the Borough, looks to go towards the outer side, and McCubbin is a great option because he's got heaps of space in front of him. Now he can kick it forward for some of his teammates to run onto it. Glenn can get there, tried to go off the ground, didn't get purchase on it, and allowed Stewart to come in and Rusher behind. And that was an opportunity gone begging for Brodie Glenn.
Major opportunity from Greensborough. They played that so well just to get the ball over the top. And Brodie Glenn, you almost felt like he had a few extra moments than he thought to pick that ball up. Instead, he tried to go the soccer and sort of made a mess of it in the end.
So the Bridges get away with one and will clear it towards the outer side. A good option finds Kalen Anderson, one of the 3 inclusions for the Bridges today. He opts to go towards half forward where there's a mismatch in height. It is between the 2 genuine ruckmen of the afternoon, and the boundary line will beat the duo anyway. And we'll have a ball up 55 out on the outer side from Hurstbridge's goal. 12 and a quarter minutes gone first term. It's 1-2 to 1-1. Hurstbridge with a wind advantage in this opening term, but lead by just the one behind that as it stands. But both these teams capable of kicking goals in a flurry. So I'm sure we can come to expect that today. Here's Howard again in the ruck, looking for O'Sullivan. Hasler just got the kick away. Bounced okay for Walsh. Brindley, 1-2 with Walsh, and then a Brindley again on the boundary line. He goes down the line. He was looking for McCubbin, but Hurstbridge with the numbers here. Chance for Barbera. Just got boot to ball. Sends it inside 50 and cutting it off is Sievers. Collingwood VFL listed this year. Played 5 games for the Magpies. Sievers opts again to go towards the outer side. The numbers at ground level favour Greensborough. Ferranado, O'Sullivan, Andronacco just got boot to ball. No, umpire says holding the footy. Disposed of it incorrectly. Great pressure coming from Jake Wild.
That's potentially a goal-saving tackle there from Jake Wild because Greensborough are out.
And he booms it towards half forward. The Clace almost controlled it with the second grab, but again, Greensborough, all the numbers at ground level. Walsh is able to clear things for the Borough, and they have it on defensive side of the outer wing. I'll just slow things down. And Brindley's got it centre wing outer side. Just wanting to get all his players pushing forward here. Call to move it along. Tries to get as much purchase against the wind as possible, but a great intercept from Hymas. And then he wants to go quickly. Finds O'Brien, almost a true centre-half back. They'll complete the switch as they look to find McCall, but he's under a bit of pressure. Read the bounce okay, McCall, but doesn't have much room and stood out of bounds as he went to kick it. Which, considering his lack of options, Tim, not a bad option.
It wasn't ideal for Hurstbridge. Probably would have liked to keep the ball in, but I would have liked to have seen Hurstbridge try and use the centre corridor. Greensborough did well to force them out wide, but would have just liked to see Hurstbridge be a bit more adventurous, go through the middle of the ground, but nonetheless it's a stoppage on the wing right next to the pavilion, which is very full today by the looks of it.
It certainly is.
So much on the line.
Nice to see a good crowd building at Preston City Oval. We're at true centre wing, broadcast side. 15 minutes gone opening term. That's a shallow boundary throw in. Worked okay for Howard. Went straight to a Gosser who couldn't control it. At the back of the pack is Ben Ham. He wants to go through the corridor. He finds Walsh. Walsh, defensive side of the centre square, wants to go back to centre wing, but easily cutting that one off is Cookson. Plays on because he's got numbers. O'Brien didn't go to short option. Went inside 50 to Richards. Now it's a chance here for Cam Wild. Goes back to Fitzgerald. He lost his footing, and then Ham tackled immediately, and I think they made that a lot harder than they needed to Bridges.
Yeah, they certainly did. Cam Wild, had he got clean disposal first time around, he probably would have had an opportunity to back himself and go for goal, but not to be.
Tap from Jake Wild. Here's Richards, who I'm finding interesting him playing in the forward line. And he's coughed up holding the footy there, and 50 straight away for umpire abuse. So umpires hot on the hammer today with that, but Jake Richards, usually a defender, playing up forward today. Maybe the wind a factor in that, but just had the time to get rid of it there, didn't.
Certainly, and it's a costly 50 as well, because Greensborough, even with the ball, they would have been buried in Hurstbridge's forward pocket.
As they look to go down the line, Cookson couldn't get there. Here's O'Sullivan again. That ball doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Umpire says, I'll have it. And now there's a bit going on between Cookson, Ferranato in there as well.
So Jamie Smith has moved up to do the ruck work with Kent.
And he's got the tap this time. He was looking for Brindley, didn't bounce for him. McCabe shrugged the tackle. Sends the ball towards half forward. Well, not going for that one was Lockie Hill. Allowed Richards to get it. Evades a couple, goes to Cookson. Cookson, left foot ball inside 50. Doesn't favour his forwards. It favoured Johnston, who courageously took a strong mark. So Johnston, Greensborough's captain. The star of this team for many years now. Goes towards the near side. No problems for Smith. Cops a bit of an ear massage on the way and has no problem with it at the defensive side of the centre wing. Gets that ball down the line. Trying to fly was McCubbin. Had no room to move. McCabe, Cam Wild spun out of danger. He's got Cookson. He's got Kent. Goes to Kent. Back to Cam Wild now. Has plenty of space. Inside 50 to the Anderson direction, who dived. Couldn't take the mark. Still a chance for Anderson. Tight on the boundary. Misses to the near side.
Oh.
1-3-8 plays 1-1-7, 17.5 gone first term.
Not a bad effort from Caelan Anderson. That's the first time he's really got his hands on the footy in this match, and just shows how much of an explosive player he can be. Just that burst of pace, and as soon as that ball hit the ground, he was back on his feet and almost scored a miraculous goal.
So Johnston had enough of the play on the near side, so wants to go towards the outer side. Almost for Brindley. But Hurstbridge, with weight of numbers, get it back. Dane Middleton goes inside 50. He was looking for Stewart, but Johnson read that one with ease again.
Greensborough are electing to go to that outer side the majority of times with their kick-ins, and Hurstbridge are doing well just to hold it up.
So Johnston gets out of defensive 50 again, but cut off again by Hurstbridge. Now they've got numbers in the corridor here. That's where they go. That kick too strong for O'Brien, but it worked out for Cooper Barbera, who wants to play on quickly and goes to Cooper Perrin, who marks just inside 50 and will kick from just outside 50 on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, a massive kick. Cooper Perrin, of course, one of the inclusions today. Kicked the 128 goals from his 91 senior matches as the 26-year-old, and this would take just about every bit of his distance.
He's on track to kick 100 Hurstbridge goals as well in his senior career. But Cooper Perrin, back for his 14th game of the season. From outside 50, has he got that one swinging back? Not enough. Another behind as we tick towards time on in this first term. 1-4 plays 1-1, and I feel like the Bridges are starting to miss some opportunities here with the win, Tim.
Yeah, that's right. I think they'd like to see themselves a bit further in front, especially considering the ball's been in their forward 50 for the majority of this quarter. But I think Greensborough have done really well just forcing the Bridges to take shots from more difficult positions.
Well, they've coughed it up again here, so Agosta now with the intercept mark. So we're getting some kick-to-kick at the moment. They pile it back inside 50. Can someone fly? At the end is Sievers. It went straight through his hands. Anderson, was he caught high? Yes, he was. And now another opportunity for Hurstbridge. Anderson kicking no more than 20 metres out from goal. Missed one just moments earlier, but he can get Hurstbridge's second of this elimination final.
This is one of the best opportunities that Hurstbridge have had in this first quarter to kick a goal, and you feel like they need it because they need to, ideally, if you're a Hurstbridge fan, extend this out to double digits just while you've got that wind advantage, because Greensborough will be more than happy to see this game close going into the first break.
Anderson's kicked goals in his last 8 games. Can he continue to trend today? He can. Kalen Anderson extends Hurstbridge's lead with his first of the afternoon. And they move to 2-4-16. Greensborough 1-1-7. 20 and a half minutes gone, opening term. That's goal number 26 for the season for Kalen Anderson. And he's just one of those dangerous forwards that can really impact the scoreboard.
Certainly is. And I think for Greensborough, or for Hurstbridge as well, what we're seeing is, like you mentioned earlier, Nick, it has been a bit of kick to kick. And I think for the reason for that is Greensborough having to kick long outside their defensive 50 just because of that wind, just trying to get a bit of territory. And as for Hurstbridge, when they're kicking it back in, sometimes because they haven't got a tall forward like Joel Naylor, they are struggling a little bit, but that's an important goal for the Bridges.
And back in the middle as Ferranado tried to get rid of the football, but he did so incorrectly. So Machete will have it in the middle as the Bridges look to pile on some more scores. A good 60-70 metre kick here for Bridges. Front and centre was Cooper Barbera, but he misses to the right. Flying high there was Stewart, but he couldn't get it. And the margin sits at 10 points at the 21.5 minute mark.
That's what the Bridges have to do, though. If they're going to elect to do that long kick inside forward 50, they have to bring the ball down to ground to get their small forwards in the game. Because we know the intercept marking ability that Greensborough has. So that's what you've got to do. Stewart did really well there to bring the ball to ground.
So Johnston, again, doing the kick-out duties. This time almost got a mark from Brindley, but at ground level was Cookson. He couldn't get through to a pack of Greensborough players chasing him down. Although it still emerges for Sievers to Ferranado, who goes to McCubbin with a chipping kick. He's on centre wing out of side. He's got runners streaming forward. One of them is Ferranado. He can hand it off here to Andronacco. The handball was too strong, but he's got pace to burn. Just didn't get it on the bounce. Great pressure here from Greensborough. And holding the ball is the call. And we're going to have a set shot here, but not before a bit more of a scuffle between these two teams as things start to heaten up here. And it will be 50, so that's going to be a certain goal for the Borough. It'll be Brodie Glenn from point-blank range. And he gets Greensborough's second of the afternoon. They move to 2-1-13. Hurstbridge 2-5-17. And, well, for all the good work that Hurstbridge have done over the last 5 minutes, Tim, it all gets outdone so quickly when you give away an ill-discipline free like that.
Absolutely. It was probably going to be a goal nonetheless to Brodie Glenn. He was only about 20-25 metres out, but just to give away that 50, it's ill-disciplined, giving Glenn a goal from the goal square. But I've been really impressed in this quarter with Greensborough's ability to transition. They've looked really fast on the break, utilising the speed of players like Andronacco and Glenn. That's when they've looked most dangerous.
So back in the middle, Howard got it over to Hasler, was trying to get it to Fitzgerald, but disposed of it incorrectly. So now they'll try again through Perrin, Will Hurstbridge. It goes inside 50, landed for Richards. I don't think he was expecting that ball to get there. And he lays a strong tackle instead. We'll have another ball up, and again, some mini spot fires. And Richards is given away to free inside his forward 50. And things are really firing up here now.
Certainly
Johnston wants to keep moving, so we'll go with the play. Ferranado at halfback. Again, another inside 50 stoppage, and Hurstbridge is ill-disciplined, gives it away. Meanwhile, Ferranado kicks it towards the centre square. Brindley again got hands onto it. Hurstbridge might get it back here. Not before Padham, but McCall got it over to Jake Wild. His kick was smothered. Picked up here now by Blakey. He goes towards centre wing. McCabe. Umpire calls for a ball up.
So now's the time in the quarter. You at the 25th minute mark, there's a lot of feeling. You just got to be really careful not to give away any silly free kicks when you don't need to.
Ball gets tossed up again. O'Brien shrugged the tackle well. Just pumps it back inside 50. The Borough have a man in defence. An extra man, I should say, Johnston. Another rebound 50. Farinado dropped the chest mark. Brindley trying to push it forward. Didn't have much support. Farinado, was he caught high? No, umpire says holding the footy. Good tackle laid by Mitch Machete. Machete wants to get a log. He goes laterally with the kick. Here's Hymas again from 70 metres out. That one's going right to the line, but the case will mark on the goal line. And he'll look to run around and give Hurstbridge back their double-digit lead. He starts his approach as he just gets behind the mark. De Clace with the left foot has just snuck that in. And Kai De Clace helps restore Hurstbridge's 10-point lead. 3-5-23 to Greensborough 2-1-13. 26 minutes gone, first term.
Well, Greensborough have got to be really disappointed there, allowing De Clace to mark. Honestly, it was about 3-on-1 in the goal square. Thought it was a strange option for Hymas to go long because he had numbers free short, but nonetheless it's worked out for Hurstbridge, and De Clace just able to free himself from those three players and then take a mark and kick on the angle. That's really important going into the dying stages of this first quarter.
So we're back in the middle of Preston City Oval. Tap coming from Wild, who's looking for Harry O'Brien. Will be cleared anyway by Cam Wild. Goes inside 50, trying to shrug off a few tackles there was Agosta. Ball up directly in front, 40 metres out from the Hurstbridge goal. Howard getting the tap. Small clearance from Hart, goes straight to Machete. 60 metres out from goal, looks towards the pocket. Kent's got two to beat, and Johnston says thank you very much. Another intercept mark. I reckon he's already close to half a dozen. There's more dark clouds brewing overhead. So maybe some rain coming shortly. His kick works for Farinado. Here there, wind in the effects mic there, starting to pick up. Farinado at half-back. Sends a very, very high ball towards centre wing, and almost taking it was Jake Wild. Getting the clearance there was Blakely, although the kick was smothered, and Hurstbridge sent it back inside 50. Didn't bounce for anyone in the favour except of Johnston again. He'll get the 1-2 from Lockie Hill. Johnston, clever kick. Works to Ben Ham. Ben Ham has it at half-back. Called to play on. Sends a high ball down the line. Howard's going to have to go for this one. He didn't, but two Hurstbridge players fouled each other. Almost for Brindley. Kick off the ground in the middle of the Preston City Oval. Chance for McCubbin, who was pushed in the back, says the umpire. So Zach McCubbin will regain it. He's just going to go short to Farinado for the time being. He's been terrific this year, Christian Farinado. Best in 9 of 12 games, last year's Brett Harvey medalist. Low, spearing ball towards half forwards. Cut off by Liam Middleton. So 28 and a half minutes gone in this first term. Wouldn't be long to go, you'd think. Chance now for McCabe. He goes out wide. This is Harry O'Brien. He's got Fitzgerald, although it's a real hospital kick, but it works okay. Fitzgerald quickly swings around on the right boot. Sends it inside 50. Doesn't work here for Will Plain, and that's quarter time at Preston City Oval. It was Hurstbridge with the win in that opening term, and they will take a 10-point lead into quarter time. 3-5-23 to Greensborough. 2-1-13.